Hey YouTube land, it's Darkhorse here doing another action figure review, and this time it's for the new Neca Wave Darkhorse Comics Wave Predator figures. So there's 3 figures in the wave, this being one. This is, I'm hoping I pronounced her name correctly, is Machiko. And I think it's from the 90s the comic was done. I could be wrong, it could be the early 2000s, but it's basically, if you're familiar with the AVP movie and the way that they had the character of Alexa, I think it was, where she becomes, she helps the Predator out and kind of, it's kind of like her, but this is a bit more a bit more like a human that has been integrated into the Predator clans. I don't think it's along the lines of her just using Predator tech. If I remember correctly, what I kind of put together, I could be completely making it up as I go along, is the I'm sure she's kind of affiliated with one of the Predator clans. They rescue her, or she rescues the Predator, and they take her on board as a Predator. Because if I just take off her mask piece here, she has a similar scar on her forehead. I'm not sure if you can see that. Hang on, bear with me a moment. You can see she has a scar on her forehead, very similar to the way Scar Predator had in the AVP movies. So, before I get onto the figure, I'll just go onto the box. There's probably a brief write-up. I haven't really looked at the boxes. I was so excited, I just basically opened the figures and started messing around with the figures. So, there is an image of her on the blister card, and it's the artwork from Darkhorse. It shows her. So if we flip it around, it says the brief bio, or write-up. I'm sorry, this is a bit too dark. So you have the 3 figures in the wave, which you can see Machiko is there on the side. You have in the center is Broken Tusk, and on the very edge there is Hornhead. And for the brief write-up, it says Mankind's ultimate 2 nightmares come together in immortal combat, and whoever wins, we lose. On the remote planet Ryushi, a small ranching community becomes an unwilling participant in a deadly ritual. Extraterrestrial predators have seeded Ryushi with alien eggs in order to create an ultimate hunt. But what the predators don't know is that the alien queen egg is amongst those they've sent as potential hunting stock, and when the predators arrive, the hunters become the hunted amidst the monumental swarm of aliens that they may need to turn to the very same humans they regard as little more than potential trophies to give them any hope of survival. So, and then also on the back, I just knocked over a fugitive predator for my size comparison. Also on the back of the box, it just shows more artwork of Machiko in action against the aliens and the xenomorphs. So, just flipping that back around, I love the card back. It's completely different to the standard Predator ones, where it just shows like the Predator from the, I think it usually shows the Predator from the first movie, but this time around it shows the silhouette of Broken Tusk, who I think is the clan leader for that particular clan, but I could be wrong. I'll get into him when I get around to his figure. So for Machiko, as you saw, she has a removable mask. It has 2 wires coming off of it, and there's 2 plugs on the back for a plasma caster that it's supposed to plug into. Now the only problem I have is when you have the mask on her head, the wires don't seem to be long enough to reach all the way around. It only, when I got her in the box, her plasma caster was turned backwards for some reason, and it looks like you can only put the wires in that way. You can fit them onto her cannon if it's at resting mode. Her backpack is a single scope, so it's not separate like some of the earlier Predators, but they've as NECA's been moving on, they've been making them more and more solid. The head is on a ball joint, but it is very limited, and that's not NECA's fault. It's just because of the hair sculpt. Even though they gave her the kind of rubberized hair, it just hindered the head tilting a bit. She can look to the left really good, but looking to the right, because of the backpack, her hair just doesn't have the clearance to go around it. Her arms are on ball joints. You can see here on the shoulder is where some of her armor got glued to her shoulder, so be wary of that. She does come with the accessories of her mask and this cannon, so I'll just take it, pop out of her hand. Just need to move her trigger finger back into place. It's a bit squishy, so she does have wrist blades, just like a normal predator, that extend. They're very thin and very small, and I would be very careful with them. She comes with this hand unattached in the box. It's her swappable hand. It's just on a peg system, and she comes with a closed fist in the box, and she just has this extra hand for resting the rifle on, so get two-handed poses, which is really cool. She has double jointed elbows. She has a swivel in the wrist. She has a swivel in the gauntlet, a swivel in the wrist. She has a swivel at the bicep. She has a dual ball jointed, she has a ball joint here and a ball joint at the base of her waist, so she can get kind of good forward and back. She has leg splits. She has little hidden thigh swivels, dual jointed knee. She has ball jointed legs, and she has a hinge to kind of get into running poses, or you can put it down or up. All in all, she's really good. Now, I will be honest that when I first got her, this inner thigh piece was hanging down there. It was as if the leg hadn't been pushed into place properly, so I had to chuck her into a bath of boiling water just so I could heat it up and push it back into place without snapping the peg. The biomask is really, really cool. If I can just bring in up to the camera, bear with me. You can just see that it has detailing on the inside of it. It's not just a blank piece on the inside. It does fit her face nicely. It looks a little weird when it's on, because it looks like it doesn't line up with her eyes. Because if you notice, her eyes are up here, and when the mask is on, her eyes are pretty much there, but the mask makes it look like they're in there. You can't really put it up any higher because it kind of looks a little loose on her face and just slides off, so you have to kind of wedge it in underneath her hairpiece. But all in all, she's really, really cool. She does have 2 peg holes on the bottom of her feet as well. And the gun that she comes with is awesome. It's a completely new sculpt. It's not like they reused any other guns from other figures, so it's quite nice. I like the paintwork on it as well. So for a height comparison, or for height of the figure, she stands just a little under 7 inches, which is about right because she's a human character and not, she's actually a human character and not a predator. I'm just looking around to see if I can find any of my other human characters, but I can't, unfortunately, to show size comparison. So, but she does stand quite a bit smaller than a standard predator. This is Fugitive, which is kind of closest to the classic Predator from the Predator movies. And then just for another size comparison, here she is with Broken Tusk. So you can see there's quite a height difference between her and them, which is about right because predators are supposed to be taller than humans anyway. But all in all, she's a fantastically cool looking figure. I know people were moaning about the head sculpt, that it didn't look right from compared to the prototype to the finished product, but I think the head sculpt just looks grand. Now, it is hit and miss on which ones you get, so the ones that you do get, be careful when taking them out of packaging. I'll go into the issues I had with the other figures in their reviews, but just be wary. A lot of the joints can be very stuck when you get them out, or when you get her first, so maybe a dunk in boiling water, but as always, be careful when using boiling water to heat her up, or heat up the plastic, and just to gently free up the joint. So there you go, guys, just a quick video review for the Machiko figure from Neca. As always, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and hopefully you enjoy the next couple of videos I do. Cheers, guys.